Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. Hey, y'all. Hey, to another fantabulous episode of Real Women, Real Talk. I am one of your amazing hosts, the fantabulous Shavon Carter, and I'm one of the facilitators for Real Women. And I am joined by who that is?
A tremendous and talented Trenace Richardson. I am the founder of Real Women. I decided to use a little alliteration and describe myself a little bit like you do, Siobhan. I figured it out.
Thank you for doing that because you are all the things, and I love that. Yes. So,
Thank you,
we're
sister.
here, y'all, for another episode of this amazing podcast, which we are so glad to be with you for another episode. We're in the new year, well into the new year now. When this airs, it will be February. Girl, where did January go? I don't know.
It
Already.
flew. It flew. Came in and flew away.
It came in and flew away, but I must say though, this is my favorite month. You want to know why? You want to know why this is my favorite month?
Talk about it, girl.
Because it's my birthday month. Oh my
Hey.
goodness. Yes, it is my birthday month. So I turned 47 this month, and I'm so excited about that. Thank you, God, for allowing me to see this year. So amazing. So I love
Mhm.
birthdays. So you'll hear all about all the things that I do for my birthday, but it's gonna be fun and I'm looking forward to it. But anywho, in the meantime, in between time, I just want to know, sister, before we get into our real talk segment, how are you doing? Like real talk, how you doing?
Well, first of all, happy
Yeah.
birthday, because
Yes.
all year, all month long, I get to say happy birthday for as long
Yes.
as you tell me you celebrate, and we're going to be celebrating. So
Thank you. Yeah.
happy birthday. I'm so happy for you. It's
Thank
all about the joy this month. And I
you.
love, other than the
Mm-hmm.
weather,
That
for
part.
me personally, I
Yeah.
love this month for so many reasons. It's the
Yeah.
love month, and
Mm-hmm.
it's my son's birthday month
Is
too.
it?
Yes, his is on the
Girl.
12th. So y'all are always right there in
Yeah.
there together. And
Mhm.
Black History Month, like all of the things. So it
Yeah.
makes it a really special month. So
It is.
kudos to you and your birthday.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm feeling good. I am. I'm feeling good. I feel like I am at a good balanced place where things are very busy for me, but I'm taking time out to slow down to recharge.
Yeah.
Then I expend the energy that I reserved. And,
Yeah.
before I get to depletion, I'm recharging again. So
Mhm.
I feel like it's a nice little balance going on right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about it. And winter is usually my time of hibernation.
Okay.
But I have been outside more than I planned. I've been doing some things. I've been to New York. I've been
Yeah.
doing some things,
Mhm.
especially a lot of birthday time in my family in January and February.
Mhm.
So I'm enjoying the crispness of the air and breathing
Yeah.
a little deeper and wearing my hat to make sure I don't catch the sniffles and all of that. So yeah, energized is what
Okay.
I say. Yeah. How are you?
I love that. So, I am doing okay. I'm in the season of transitioning where I'm getting out of the vacation mode, out of the winter break mode, and transitioning into the mode of grind back in school. So, in that transition, there's always some resistance because that comfort zone, I do not like to leave my comfort zone. So, it's always like pushing and pulling and tugging at me because school has started. It started a couple of weeks
Mhm.
ago, and I have some assignments that I need to do, and I'm just like, I don't feel like
I
it.
hear you. I hear
So
you.
it takes me a minute to get the engine revved up. So I noticed that about myself. So I'm like, okay, girl, listen, this is our last semester. Let's get it. But it's like I have to talk to myself like I'm talking to a little kid that's not ready to go back to school after summer break. So
Mhm.
that's kind of the mode that I'm in. But I know I'm gonna get it back going and do the things that I need to do. But it's always a little push, for me.
That's that senioritis. you you right at the edge. You right at the precipice of your breakthrough.
Oh,
And you like, oh.
Oh my gosh. And it's
Yeah.
so funny because my professor, she knows that this is the last class. Everybody in this class is the last class before graduation. So she's like, don't sabotage, you're at the end. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how I'm sure that happens so often for people. You
Yeah.
get to the end and then you subconsciously sabotage it. So yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it together.
Yeah. You got this. You
I
got
got it.
this. Hmm.
All right. So let us move into our real talk segment, sister, because I do have a question before we get any further.
Okay.
Um, and I want to know for this real talk segment, what's your favorite way to spend your day off?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh my goodness. So I like to be able, I don't necessarily sleep late.
Okay.
I like to be able to sleep later than I normally do.
Yeah.
But then I just want to lay in the bed for as long as I want.
Hmm.
And sometimes it is just laying there and thinking and just resting. And sometimes it's picking up my phone and being able to scroll or check some stuff, but I do it for as long as I feel like it.
Yeah.
Then I slowly get up and I love spending extra amount of time in the bathroom. I have sacred time in the bathroom.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I got a throne in there. Somebody else might have a toilet, but I got a throne in the bathroom, and I don my throne, and I do my meditation, my devotion. I have journals and stuff just around me in there so that I can do all of the things. I take my time in the bathroom. So on a day off, I'm in there for, too long, but
Mhm.
as long as I want to be.
Yeah.
And then come down to eat whatever I'm feeling like. Usually it's like something lighter in the morning. Um, and then I think a day off, I might go for a walk depending on the weather.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a run. It would be a walk. I like getting outside as long as the weather is conducive.
Yeah.
Um, if it's really good weather, I'll drive with the top down.
Okay.
Love my convertible being able to do that. And
Yeah.
then to be able to eat some good food while I'm out and then
Mm,
come back home and just chill. My bedroom and my bathroom are my regeneration type places. So
yeah.
to be able to come back early and just chill and Netflix and chill with my husband or chill by myself and just watch TV until until I want to fall asleep. Maybe
Mm,
take a nap, maybe, just go to bed early, but it really is more relaxing than
mm.
doing. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how I like to spend my days off. Like when I think of holidays, is what came to mind just when we have these holidays in January and February where we get some time off for many of us. I like to just do whatever I feel like doing. Like I don't want to have a schedule on my day off.
Mhm.
Don't give me no schedule. I have schedules when I'm on, but when I'm off, let me just wake up when I feel like it, do what I feel like doing. If I want to watch a show, if I want to sleep in a little longer. I usually don't leave the house on my days off. Like I just like
Mhm.
to be in the house unless I have to go get something to eat if I don't feel like cooking. But it is one of those things where I don't put a lot of energy into the day. I don't do all these shoulds of what I should be doing. I don't do any of that. It's just I want to relax and just be,
Yeah.
so that I can get a reset, like we talked about in last week's episode, like so that I can have a reset and just get me prepared for the next day. But yeah, I just like to spend my days off being and doing nothing.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
think about the people who have to be on the go all the time.
Yeah,
Um, my husband is one of those. He'll say he does downtime, but on a day that he's off, I can literally ask him, "So what are you doing today?" And he'll say, "Nothing. I don't have anything planned today. Nothing."
yeah,
And
nothing.
before I know it, he's getting dressed to get out. What? You said
Where
you
you going?
you said you had nothing to do. Or I just got to stop by the lodge, or I just got to go to Lowe's, or I just like he has to have something to do. And
Yeah,
I do not have to have something. I have enough that I have to do that
Yep.
I don't have to have something to do on my days off. So I so
Mhm.
feel that. Mm.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I just wanted to know, since like I said, we've had some holidays starting this new year, and we just came off of the holiday season. So just talking about that. And for those
Mhm.
who are watching and listening, we would love to know what you like to do on your day off. So feel free to reach out to us at speakpipe.com/real women real talk, or you can email us at info@realwomenrock.org and tell us how you like to spend your days off. We would love to hear from you.
You're here.
All right, sister, are you ready for our deep dive conversation today
I
on
don't. On today, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for it on today. Mm-mm.
I think it's gonna be light. We're just taking advantage of kind of this laughing spirit that we're in right now. So I'm gonna keep it light. And
We'll
I
see. We think we gonna be like, man, we end
we
up going
do,
somewhere, but we'll see. Hopefully.
we do, we do. I'm telling you, we be trying. We have the best of intentions in our sister circles. We're like, oh, it's just gonna be light, and we're not gonna get too deep. And then something happens. Like we just can't help ourselves.
Can't help ourselves. Something pops off.
Something pops off. But I wanted to talk about the subject. How do you find joy during turbulent times?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I won't get into all of the specifics of what's going on, but if you listen to this podcast, if you are living in the United States, then you know there can be a number of things that I'm talking about as it relates to turbulent times. And many things are happening that are impacting us in so many ways. And so it's creating a lot of anxiety and stress for people, some of the decisions that are made and some of the adjustments that people are having to make, drastic changes that people are having to make, and also just the uncertainty of what's going to happen from day to day and how certain decisions are going to impact our everyday lives. And so it just feels chaotic right now, right? And so I even though externally there's a lot going on, I'm a firm believer in we can still have joy in the middle of everything that's happening, because I feel like joy is an inside job. And I feel like we can choose joy at any moment in our lives, regardless of what's happening externally. So that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because I think many of us just need a little snippet of joy, you know, during these times. So that's why we're talking about this, sister. And so I want to start with the question of what things bring you joy?
Mm. I have so many thoughts swirling around. This is going to be a very good topic, and I don't know. I don't, as light as you think it's going to be, I can already tell you it's not, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking so many wonderful things about this topic.
Mm,
But starting off, things that bring me joy, definitely music. Music brings me joy, and I know that different types of music can cause different emotions, and
mm,
so, but typically when I go to music, I am going so that I can feel good. I am
mm,
not looking for any woe is me inducing music.
yeah,
So music brings me joy. Dancing brings me joy.
yeah.
I love comedy shows on
Mhm,
TV as well as going to see them. But I can, when I'm filled with laughter,
yeah,
whether that's from joking around with my family or my friends, or finding a comedy show that makes me laugh on TV, I love laughter. I love feeling good and light.
mhm,
Um, and so that I'll start there. That's
mhm.
that. Those are some of the things that bring me joy. Nature brings me joy.
Sure.
Being out in nature, I just feel enlivened, like I feel a part of something bigger when I'm out in nature, and so that brings me joy.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that bring me joy. And in this current time that we're in, it's the end of football season. And if you know me, you know that I love football.
Ciao.
I love football, especially when I'm rooting for my team. So the Commanders made it really far, but we
They
didn't
did.
win, but
But the farthest that they have in a long time.
that
So
we've
yeah.
had in like over 30 years. So I'm still proud of them. But watching football brings me joy. Being around other sports fans brings me joy. Like we're getting and rooting, we're making friends with each other. We don't even know each other, but there's camaraderie when we are together and rooting for the same team. So that brings me joy. I never thought I would say this, but it's becoming a thing. Cooking brings me joy.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead. It really does. And even though there's still sometimes I don't feel like doing it, but
Yeah.
when I do it, it's like, oh, this makes me feel good. I know that I'm cooking some healthy food for myself, and I love when I eat it and it tastes so good. Like that brings me joy. Spending time with my friends and laughing. Like I've had some moments recently where I just spent time with my friends and we're laughing and just acting up and just saying silly stuff, but just the laughter and joy of being with the people that I love brings me joy. So those are just some of the things, yeah, that I can think of that bring.
I want to say some things about some of the things that you
Okay,
said
okay.
because I was in Starbucks recently with a girlfriend. I met her for coffee,
Uh-huh.
and it was just recently. So Philadelphia Eagles were playing somebody. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't keep up with the football.
Yeah.
Um, but she had her gear on, and then
Yeah.
everybody. The game was that day, so everybody had their gear on, right? And
Mhm.
so, what are they playing, y'all, recently?
Yesterday, yeah, they were playing.
Okay, so they were playing y'all. All right,
Yeah.
see how oblivious I am. So they were playing y'all. So I'm sitting there with her, and we're in depth, having a real in depth conversation. Somebody just bum rushes us and goes, "Birds, go birds, go birds!" The whole place lights up. Go
Yeah.
birds, go birds.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was hilarious and
Mhm.
just giggling. And I
Mhm.
mean, black men and black
Yeah.
women and white women. It was just the camaraderie in there. It was beautiful to
Yeah.
behold.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that happens. And I can see it, even if I'm not a part of it. I love that type of joy.
It
Yeah.
happens all the time. You don't have to know them. As soon as you see the gear on, it's like we're together, like we're friends.
We are besties right now.
Yes. And when you have on the opposing team's jersey, then you become like instant enemies, but it's all
Right, right.
so funny. So
I
funny.
don't know you, but I don't like
Right.
you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I love that for y'all.
Yes.
That's good.
So I wanted to ask that question because, like I said, this is in the context of finding joy during turbulent times. And so the first thing I think is important to navigate through these times is identifying what brings you joy, right? Because
Mhm.
it's so easy to get focused on the news and what's happening and how it's impacting us, and that can just bring us down. And so if we shift our perspective, not that we're ignoring what's happening, but sometimes we just need a tap out button and lean into what brings us joy. And so that kind of brings me into my next question, sister. When we think about what brings us joy, what are the things that you would say that you recognize to be joy stealers in your life? Like I said, we can accept the reality of situations, and we can prepare ourselves to protect our peace. So what are some of the joy stealers that you've noticed?
Let me tell you, I feel like I have become um, a superhero when it comes to protecting my peace. Like, I feel like I got to move my water bottle for this. I feel like I have donned a cape and I am like,
Yeah.
I am the protector of my peace. Like, I am so serious about protecting my peace. And so
Mhm.
there are several things in life that I don't do well or well enough.
Yeah.
But this right here, I have gotten real good at protecting my peace.
Mhm.
And so some joy stealers for me, because I had to study it for myself, because it's different for everybody,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So for myself, I noticed that the news was a downer for me. It was a joy stealer, especially to focus on it at the very beginning of the day when it comes on and right before you go to bed at night. Like those are the times that they catch you, right? My husband loves it. He is real old school with that because he wants to stay informed. I am a not. I'm total opposite of that. And so, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having to, hear a snippet here or there, or scrolling on social media when I want to, and seeing the update on something, or hearing about something and then going looking for more information when I want to hear it. But starting off with the doom and the gloom and the murder and the this and the that, because that's how it starts, I don't need it in my life. So news is a joy stealer for me. Social media can be a joy stealer for me. And during the course of this podcast, I have done that level of evolution where I started a fast. And that fast of just not being on social media, I was inspired by a couple of our girlfriends who did it. And when I came back to it, I decided to eliminate all of my followers or all of the people I was following. And it ended up being so that, I lost followers as a result because of how it's set up. But it was more important to me not to see in my feed all of the things from everybody, because a big part, and I will just be very transparent and vulnerable about this because this is Real Women, Real Talk and what we do. I would see people who are maybe doing things similar to me or things that I aspire toward, and they were doing them at levels that would cause me a little envy or a little jealousy. And that would cause dissatisfaction and discontent with who I am and what I'm about and what I'm accomplishing. And it was all because I saw it. Like if I didn't see it, I wouldn't even know what they were doing. So I've stopped following people. I only brought back the things that are inspiring. My feed is all about like farming and nature and wellness stuff, things that inspire me in a positive way, but don't evoke negative emotions out of me. So those are two. I'll give one more. The third one is I have filtered and shed and pruned the people in my life to the point where I engage. And I don't mean that I don't connect and associate and, relate on some level to everybody, because I have to, but I engage with people who are not joy stealers. So I have removed myself from circles and people and communities that are joy stealers for me. If you are the woe is me crowd or the doomsday crowd, or it's all negative all the time, or the gossip crowd, or I got to talk about you and talk about you, I am not a part of that anymore, ever. And so joy stealers people, I've separated social media and what was my first one?
The news.
And the news. Yep.
So definitely echoing what you said about the news and social media. Those can definitely be joy stealers for me if I find myself consuming too much of those stories, because they're usually gloom and doom a lot of times in those spaces. But what's also a joy stealer for me is a critical voice. Like if I give in too much to listening to my critical voice and not stopping those thoughts and shifting my perspective or thinking about things that I am doing well and not ruminating over the critiques, then that can definitely be a joy stealer for me if I'm allowing myself to ruminate. And then also what I noticed, because I am an empath, if I take on people's stories or their situations without having an emotional boundary to separate myself from their story, because a lot of times when I hear stories, it's like I'm putting myself in their shoes to the point where I feel like I'm a part of the story, or I'm making myself be a part of the story when I don't have to be. And so I'm learning how to create emotional boundaries because of the work that I do and being a supervisor, like there's a lot of interactions where I'm responsible in a way for people and their emotion, not their emotions, but just, in the space where I am leading people and then also hearing from a lot of people and what they're going through. So in my own therapy with my therapist, just working on making sure I'm practicing emotional boundaries to where I don't feel like I have to be superwoman to jump in and save everybody, So those are the main joy stealers for me. Yeah.
So good. So good. That you would think some people would have you believe that
Mhm.
they gain their joy from
Mhm.
being that. I've heard it so many times, especially in Real Women. I get my joy from helping others, or I get my joy from serving others. And I know to some degree that
Yeah.
can bring some satisfaction.
Yeah.
But if that's all you can say about what brings you joy, it's
Yeah.
probably some codependency there to
It's
make you feel good about who you are. You got to help
absolutely,
some other people. So, yeah.
absolutely. And it's probably the cape is on,
Yeah.
feeling like I have to fix people. And that's not, people are very well capable of, working out their own stuff for themselves. And so that brings a lot of, yes, joy stealing, because like you said, if I am engrossed in other people's lives and I'm focusing on what they have going on, then that's almost a sense of me trying to validate, my existence by other people's validation. And so that can get harmful if
Yeah.
over compromising or over, yeah, it's a lot
Yeah.
goes into
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah. And we're not talking about you. We're not talking about something we heard.
no,
We talking about something we know.
no, because I have been guilty of that. So I know what it looked like, what it smelled like.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Emotional boundaries are important for me to make sure I'm leaning into joy.
That's good.
Um, and then, okay, so another thing that, sister, that I found that is helpful to lean into joy during turbulent times is just celebrating the little things.
Hmm. Mhm.
So, like I
Mhm.
was saying, sometimes we can be so focused on what we're not doing, what's not going well, that we lose sight of what is going well and what we're accomplishing, even if it's really small and seemingly minute. So, what are your thoughts about that and celebrating the little things?
I'm so glad you asked. So glad you asked, because I was just sitting here thinking, first of all, if you're not on YouTube watching, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. But
Yeah.
I did my own nails and I
Oh,
love them.
yes.
And it's like a burgundy, but
Yeah.
I love I I love seeing something. Like, I can be inspired in a positive way by seeing
Yeah.
something. And I saw this color somewhere and I was like, oh, I like that color. And I
Yeah.
like the little, and so I went and got the color and I did it myself.
Right.
And then another little thing is, like, I've committed to myself. My husband does not believe I'm going to do it, but I have committed to myself all year long to do my own hair,
Okay.
because I have goals. I have
Yeah.
land I want to buy. And so this is one place that I'm going to sacrifice. And so I used to do my hair all the time and it was always fly. So I
Yeah.
was like, I can recondition myself to do my hair.
Mm.
And I'm just saying, my hair looks
It
good and
looks
it's
good.
growing. And I feel
Yes.
good. It would be at this stage of the game. If I
Yeah.
had gone to get it done from somewhere else, it would look like this right now by this time. So I'm like, you know
Right.
what? I did a good job.
You're doing
So,
a very good job. Yes, you are. Yes.
thank you. Thank you. And then I just started appreciating, like, waking up, like taking a bath and just in the shower or in the bathtub, just feeling the water on me, just really
Mhm.
being immersed in a moment, taking a bite of something that's really good and really just like, oh, savoring it instead of
Yeah.
just, garfing it down and not tasting it and not enjoying it and experiencing it. So just slowing down enough to experience what I'm experiencing.
Yeah. I love
Mhm.
that. I love that. So some of my little wins is one, like I said before, cooking. Like anytime
Mhm.
I feel, because I will eat out in a minute, honey. I
You
will
sure will.
stop and get it to working. But when I do cook, it's just such a win for me because it means I'm saving
Mhm.
money. It means I am using the resources that are in the house that to feed myself and feeding myself healthy things. So that is a win for me. Um, and just this is a big win. And I ain't gonna see
Mhm.
minimize it to say it's a small win, but to be in the last semester of my master's program is a huge win, and I'm celebrating. Even though I'm not all the way to the end, honey, I'm celebrating now because it is
We
going
are gonna party. You hear me?
it is going to happen. So I'm taking, those final steps. Like I said, I have assignments and stuff that I have to do, but I am going to get to the finish line. And so I'm celebrating every step of the way. So that's really exciting. So thinking about those things that I have coming up that are huge accomplishments and just little things that I'm doing, like it really brings me joy. So yeah, so celebrating the little things really helps to repurpose, your life.
Can I say
Um,
something about that real
yeah.
quick? Just
Uh-huh.
because I think many of us wait for a big thing to happen
Yeah,
before we experience joy and
yeah,
a sense of victory
yeah.
and good vibes. Like something big has to happen. We have to get out of debt, or we have
Mhm,
to, graduate, or we have to before we will just take a moment and celebrate or
mhm.
feel really good. And we deserve that every day. We
Yeah.
deserve, and life is miraculous enough
Mm,
every day that there is something to celebrate and feel joy about. So,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We have so much to celebrate. So taking the time to pause and really look at what's going well really does help.
mhm.
Um, and so the last thing that I wanted to talk about, sister, as it relates to joy during turbulent times, is the importance of practicing self-care.
Mhm.
Because when we are so focused on the turbulence, that can really impact us, and how we're being in our bodies and our mental and our emotions. And so, what would you say about practicing self care during turbulent times as a means to bringing you joy?
Yeah. The first thing that came to mind is it's not just about things like manicures, pedicures, massages,
Yeah,
things that you have to pay for, or service oriented things done for you.
yeah,
Those are nice, and they are, you know, avenues or methods or options related to self-care. But what came to mind first for me is rest. That was
yeah,
the first thing that came to mind for me, because the um the reason why I thought we were gonna get a little deeper
mhm,
or a little heavier is because when I think about all of the ways that we can be emotionally exhausted in this period of our lives that
yeah,
we are all living right now,
mhm,
when it comes to watching the news, when it comes to following politics, when it comes to seeing, people being mistreated and wars, and there are just so many reasons to be exhausted,
yes,
um, emotionally and
mhm,
spiritually drained. That
mhm,
that is a level of exhaustion that affects us physically.
absolutely,
And so, in order for us to do what we started off talking about, to rejuvenate and to refresh ourselves, we've got to get rest. We've
yes,
got to lay down and be still. We've got to sleep.
mm,
And then we've got to still our minds,
mhm,
just quiet and slow down our minds in such a way that allows us not to be some people can't sleep. I am one of them. Sometimes can't sleep because your mind is going a mile a minute with all the things that you need to get done, and what
yeah,
was undone, and what you did wrong, and what like your mind can just be in overdrive. And
mhm,
so finding the ways to slow yourself down, for me, it's
yeah,
breathing deeply and
mhm,
slowing down my breaths. It's meditating. That means focusing on a thought
mhm,
over and over again. And for some people, that's scripture. For
mhm,
some people, that's an affirmation. For some people, that's just a word or a phrase
mhm,
that brings you life. And then for me, it's also for me, it's yoga as well. That allows me to slow my body and my mind down and to align my breath with my movement.
That's good.
So all of that to me is yummy self-care.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say is I um, adopted a long time ago an acronym or a phrase even that would allow me to remember
Mm-hmm.
what my self-care looks like that pours into me.
Yeah.
And because I'm the age that I am, I'm aware of the rap group, the hip hop group EPMD. And
Mm-hmm.
so um, my EPMD is exercise, prayer, meditation, and devotion. And
Mm-hmm.
so, if I am getting those things in, if I'm moving my body, if I'm praying, which is me talking to God, if I'm meditating, which is me being quiet so that I can recite to myself something that I believe is God given, or
Mm-hmm.
that I can be quiet and still enough to allow a download to happen for me.
Yeah.
And then my devotion is whatever I choose to consume that is positive for me. So it could be music, it could be a podcast, it could be scripture. It doesn't have to be, it could be a book that I really love. That's my devotion time.
Yeah.
And so it's just helped me remember, okay, that's how I take care of myself. So if
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done that in a day or a week, then I'm not taking care of myself. So you got
Yeah.
to find that for you. But those are some of the ways that I practice self-care. I
Yeah.
would love to know yours.
Yeah, for me, it is really just tapping out. When I feel like I'm taking on too much, when I've consumed too much, just kind of taking a breath and just tapping out. And what I mean by that is disengaging, like
Mhm,
not necessarily disengaging from everybody, like I'm just not talking to anybody, but it is not continuing to consume the things that I know are joy stealers, like watching TV or certain TV shows or the news or, scrolling on social media. Sometimes just like, okay, I'm done with that. Let me put the phone down. And sometimes I just, especially after when I am serving at the counseling agency, when I come home, sometimes I just have to go in my closet and sit in the dark and just meditate, decompress. Sometimes it's yoga movements. It's just whatever I feel in the moment. But
mhm,
self-care for me looks like just being self-aware to know what I need in the moment. So it's just
mhm,
really being in tune with myself to know, like, oh, okay, you really need to take a break, or okay, you probably really need to cook today. Like this is important to you. So that's taking care of myself. So it looks different depending upon what I need in the moment. So it's just really being in tune with myself and giving myself what I need in that moment. Yeah.
That's so good. The
Yeah.
word that came to mind while you were talking is intuition.
Yeah.
Like every, I think the most effective self-care is intuitive, right?
Yeah.
It's whatever you need in the moment at the
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
And intuitive, intentional living, eating, resting, like just being quiet and still enough to know what you need in this moment.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Mm,
Absolutely. It's very organic for me,
yeah,
how I take care of myself. But yeah, it's very intentional though. Yeah.
that's great. Mm,
Mhm. Yes. So thank you, sister. I hope that those of you who are watching and listening have gotten something out of this conversation and really thinking about what you need to do to help lean into joy during this time. And it doesn't mean that we're saying ignore what's going on. We're not saying not to feel how you're feeling. Like, experience the feelings and know that you can also experience joy in the midst of this season as well. It can be both and, like we talk about that
mhm,
a lot in Real Women. And so you can have joy and you can have moments where it just feels terrible, um,
mhm.
you're really experiencing how things are impacting you, but you don't have to live there. You don't have to spend, these years living in just the turmoil. So we just wanted to offer you another way of being as you're moving through this. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yes, good stuff. So I want to skip our next segment, put myself in her shoes, because I feel like we're in such a great space, and I just want to get into our deep dive, because I feel like there are some nuggets that are stirring, that we want to leave with the people. So, sister, in this spiritual nugget segment, what would you say to those who are watching and listening?
Mm. It's so funny that you said you tap out. I love that terminology because sometimes you just have to tap out. And so, for the spiritual nugget, I just wanted to turn that on its head, to say that really the same thing, but in
Mm,
a different way. My encouragement to all of us is to tap in,
yeah,
to really just tap into who you are and what you need.
yeah,
No one can do that for you. And I feel that so deeply because many of us give our agency away
mm,
to someone else or some other system or some other organization and say, okay, so how am I supposed to live? And what am
mm,
I supposed to do next?
mm,
And what do I do with my money? And what do I do with my time? And when am I supposed to rest? Like we look for the answer outside of ourselves
mm,
so often.
yeah,
If I don't say anything else, the answers are in you. I promise they are. They
yeah,
are in you if we tap in,
mhm,
and we can help you with that. Like it's not something we our goal in Real Women is to help you discover you. Like we
yeah,
don't even want to teach you and tell you what to do. We just want to give you the space to discover what's inside of you and what you honestly think and feel and grow your inner confidence in who you are and who you are created to be. And so I would just leave that with tap in, dare
yeah.
to tap in.
I love that. I love that.
Mm,
I won't add anything else to that because I think that is so important for us to
mm,
tap in and
mm,
get connected to ourselves. Yeah.
mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm,
And give ourselves what we need for this time. Yeah. So that's
mm.
beautiful. Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
So y'all, this is what we do. We are Real Women Rock, and we want you. We hope that this episode has helped you to want to learn more about us. So you can visit us at our website, realwomenrock.org. You can find out about our sister circles, both in person and virtually. And we have an amazing event coming up in March 29th. We have something beautiful for you, something that we have never done before. And
It's the
it's
Blossom Brunch.
brunch. Yes, it is a blossom brunch. So it is so amazing. It is an inaugural fundraising event to help us celebrate the significant achievements and social impact of remarkable women professionals and community trailblazers. So we would love for you to join us. You can find out more information about it on our website, register to attend, buy your ticket, and it is to support this amazing organization. It's a fundraising event, like I said, March 29th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we would love for you to join us. Come dressed in your beautiful spring colors and looking beautiful,
Mhm.
and just be prepared to fellowship with us and celebrate some amazing women. So we look forward to seeing you there. And we have so many more events coming up that we want to tell you about. So, but you won't find out about it if you're not connected with us. So visit us once again at realwomenrock.org to find out more about us. So we're so excited.
Yay. Thank
Yay.
you, sister.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, y'all, this has been another amazing episode of Real Women Real Talk. And until the next episode, take care of yourselves. Really, take care of yourself. Okay.
Mhm.
All
For
right.
real, for real.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all.